Welcome back, everybody. Music, Kaiso music covers every topic, Every topic, it tells about the times, it tells about current events, it tells about past events.
Of course.
As well. And you know what, you always hit the nail on the head, Raucus.
Not always, but let's try.
But yeah, that one is by Relator there, and he's talking about the price of food. What's the name of it, though?
Food prices.
Food prices, all right. And very apt for my next interview because I'm going to be chatting this morning with Amber Charles, who's a public health nutritionist and registered dietitian with Tandy. And we are going to be speaking about World Cancer Day and using nutrition to manage your symptoms. So Amber Charles, and of course the main topic, it's what's on the menu. And here to answer that this morning is Amber Charles. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Happy to be here.
And thank you for being here with us this morning. So let's jump right into the meat of the topic, if I may use that pun. Today is World Cancer Day, and it's a huge topic in itself. Cancer itself is a huge challenge for humanity. Let's speak about using nutrition to help manage your symptoms of cancer.
Definitely. So we may be aware that some of the negative side effects of cancer or the cancer itself or cancer treatment may include nausea, vomiting. So there are ways that you can use nutrition to improve that, including having maybe smaller meals throughout the day, 5 to 7 small meals instead of 3 larger meals like someone else may have. You may want to look at if someone develops mouth sores, for example, or dry mouth. You may look at avoiding foods that are too hot or too cold, or foods that are acidic or maybe too spicy, because those may aggravate the sores even more. Also using additional gravies or even pureeing foods to help make it easier to swallow, make sure that it's nutrient dense, packed with protein. And there are numerous ways to manage those symptoms. It just depends on the symptoms and targeting the nutrition to intervene in that way.
Well, let's start breaking it down a little more as we go into the topic. In my family, we had more than one case where a family member, they got cancer and, they had to change their entire lifestyle. And one of the main things in the most recent case in our family was nutrition. So one of my uncles, he actually went on a program, and it was heavily focused on nutrition rather than on medication. And a lot of it was based on the type of vegetables he ate and the time of day he ate and stuff as well. What do people, the common man on the street need to know? Those who can't afford to go into expensive programs like that. What do they need to know about using nutrition to help with not only the external and topical symptoms, but some of the inner workings of cancer as well?
Definitely. One thing you need to know is that even if you have cancer, like a common cancer like breast cancer, prostate cancer, you are still an individual and your needs are still going to be very specific. You may find that, so you may not always need to go into these extreme programs or expensive programs, but getting that personalized care and understanding what works for you. There are some people who have cancer that can consume raw vegetables, and there are other people who may not be allowed to. So being sure that you understand what's going to happen for you. I know there's this culture of, well, my aunt had this, so you should do that, or I heard about something, so maybe you need to do this particular thing. So definitely trying to reach out to those clinics at the hospital, seeing a dietitian there, and really finding out what should you as an individual do to manage your cancer symptoms, and how can you fit those nutritional interventions into your budget.
So let's speak about, cancer. It's not only the sickness itself, but there's the treatment, and aggressive treatments such as chemotherapy. It leaves individuals feeling, sick in different ways. They feel nauseous, nauseated rather. They sometimes have to vomit and things like that as well. But still, they need to keep their strength up by having meals and all these things. How do you manage, that nauseated feeling with still having to have meals that may make you also feel sick?
Yes, definitely. It's a very it's a fine line between the two. And there's this concept of having like dried starches, so dried cricks or maybe dried toast bread or applesauce. Those tend to have that nauseated feeling. Even ginger tea, it works for some, it doesn't work for others. Right. But ginger tea is something that's known to have that anti-nausea effect. Having small meals, So maybe a handful or a small bowl of food at a time instead of a larger meal can help that nauseated feeling. And just trying to avoid foods that have a strong scent that may turn you off, or even foods that you think of that may make you feel sick, maybe something you should have, but you really can't stomach it. So at that time, you want to be able to avoid those foods and focus on those that are appealing to you and that you can stomach in small amounts at a time.
Does cancer affect someone's nutritional status? Is it more difficult to absorb nutrition from foods when you have certain types of cancer?
Yes, definitely certain types of cancer as well as the location of the treatment. So what you find happening is that it really affects that intestine or your gut. So you're unable to maybe digest food well or keep things down, as we've discussed in nausea and vomiting. So depending on the location, and that is heavily going to impact the nutritional intervention that we do with you. Maybe if you're at the hospital, the doctor or the dietitian may look at having you fed through a tube if it's going to ease up that chewing process, or even alternate treatments to help get that under control and then reintroduce that nutrition accordingly.
And when it comes to, keeping their strength up, I know you get your energy from food and things like that, but I've come across a number of practitioners who put patients of cancer on very restrictive diets, and sometimes they feel weak because they consume so little. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not a big fan of restrictive overall, particularly someone with cancer. It's very important for them to, in some cases, just eat. Yes, there are things that are better for you, but because nutrition plays such an integral role, as you said, in maintaining your strength, one of the biggest issues with cancer patients, they tend to lose muscle. If you know, muscle is where you get your strength from. So we need to ensure that they're having adequate protein intake, as well as some carbohydrate and healthy fats to provide that energy and muscle repair to give, so that they avoid going into a state of malnutrition, which is very common among cancer patients. So anything that's overly restrictive, that's going to be robbing them of the opportunity to have adequate protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. I would advise reevaluate that approach, especially if someone is not able to keep things down and really gain the nutritional benefits from what they're having.
As you mentioned, proteins there, one of the things, well, I don't know if it's a myth, but you could probably clear that up for me. One of the things that has been said a lot is that people who have cancer shouldn't be eating meat and these things. How true is that?
Okay, so that comes down to preference. Now, there are studies that show an increased intake of meats high in saturated fat has been linked with increased rates of cancer. And those will be the fatty cuts of meat, some of those red meats as well. It's not that you can't have them at all, but you have to look at the overall amount that you may consume. Right. Having low fat cuts of meat, incorporating more fish and fatty fish into the diet. And there are some people who are vegetarian that do encounter cancer as well. So being able to manipulate their peas and beans, legume intake to ensure that they're getting adequate protein. So it really depends on your overall lifestyle. Right. And not that you have to cut it out completely, but being mindful of the sources, the types that you're having, and the amount that you're having.
All right. Well, with that, I want to say thank you so much for your time this morning, Amber. And, sure. Thank you for giving us this information as well as pertains to cancer and how to manage some of the symptoms with nutrition itself. Thank you so much and have a great morning.
Thank you for having me. You too. Bye.
All right, that was Amber Charles, public health nutritionist and registered dietitian. She's also a member of Tandy, so you can get more information on Tandy's website or social media handles. For now, though, we're going to take a short break and come back with much more right here on the Now Morning program. We have plenty more for you, so stay right where you are.